But before we get into that, I do think this term anxiety is so broad that I want to kind of maybe just start with your background. What is it that you do in your practice? Who do you work with? Maybe help folks understand a little bit why I'm sitting down with you.
Sure. So I'm a licensed psychologist. I'm board certified in behavioral and cognitive psychology, which means in addition to everything I do, I spend a significant amount of time focusing on how people think, how people act, and how we can address those in their deficits and how we can improve them to make their lives better. Very basic. So I'm a therapist. At the end of the day, I'm a therapist. And though my career has had many stages, I've spent most of the last 15 years of my career doing almost nothing but focusing on anxiety kinds of conditions. For me, anxiety is many layers, as it is for most people. It's a very physical experience, very physical, physiological. It's an emotional experience. There are cognitive elements to it, how we think. And ultimately, the way we judge each other and how we see each other is the behavioral experience. So we see what people do and don't do. And so an anxiety specialist is someone who really addresses all of those domains of functioning, how we physically, emotionally, cognitively, and behaviorally act in our own world and in relation to others.
Talk about the definition of anxiety. I think everybody kind of loosely understands what it is, and I'm sure most people have at some point experienced it. But is there a DSM-5 criteria that you refer to, or do you think about something that goes deeper and or broader than what the DSM would have to say about anxiety?
So the DSM-5 actually altered anxiety disorders. We're going to be seeing the DSM-6 probably in a few years. We'll be interested to see what it does. But in the last iteration of the DSM, it actually pulled two pretty prominent anxiety disorders out of the anxiety disorders. It moved PTSD out of the anxiety disorders, and it moved OCD out of the anxiety disorders. I don't believe for one second that they're not anxiety disorders. They're anxiety disorders, but because of some special elements about them, some people much wiser than me and you decided that they should be in their own special categories. And those two disorders specifically have some interesting elements to them that I see why you'd want to separate them out. For me, when I think about interventions, and this is maybe a reverse order for how physicians are trained or how even some therapists are trained, for me, the intervention sometimes dictates the disorder. And that may not be the most popular thing to say, but most of the interventions we're going to probably talk about today are going to be some version of cognitive behavioral therapy and some version of exposure-based therapy. Those are two of the leading interventions. Gold standard, some people use the phrase, or first-line treatments of choice for almost any anxiety disorder of the 8 to 9 that I like to refer to. So anxiety is a loose category.